This is the Proxy match of Season 2. Each contestant has chosen a representative to fight for themselves in this match. They will not be fighting themselves, and they're counting on you guys to get them some points. So, Chrono, who is your representative? Can you say, like, my representative is?
My representative is Warrior.
You cut out, Chrono, I'm sorry.
My representative is Warrior.
You're still cutting out.
God damn it!
That was clear.
Clear.
Alright.
Hello?
Go ahead, Chrono.
Okay. My representative is Laurier. Or however you pronounce it.
Deep Freeze?
I'm here representing Echo.
Mover's muted. Mount Man.
I am representing Dr. Destructo.
Mover? We can't hear you if you're talking.
I'm representing Super.
Okay. It is with each of you that this match will go on. May the best person win. Remember, this is not an I punch, I block, it's not a turn-based thing. You offer up a strategy that will hopefully allow you to win most times out of 100. So, Chrono, we're starting with you. The match that you all will be fighting in will be a stealth match. You must use your power to remain hidden as much as you can. Whether it be through camouflage, invisibility, avoiding people, because the way it works is there are going to be people walking around trying to find you. If you are found, eliminated, almost like hide and seek. Their difficulty is A tier. A tier difficulty means these guys aren't pushovers. You can't just crouch and Skyrim must have just been the wind. There are going to be some close encounters. These guys are on their edge.
It works for me.
This whole thing is happening within a mountain. Think of your average Rocky Mountains. Large areas, big crags, well, these pretty decent crags. Rock everywhere, uneven ground, hills, dips, everything you can think of for rock. Now there's one last thing. The contestants for Season 2 hate it when this happens, but you all ran into an all-star for this match. All-stars are when previous heroes from other seasons can show up and be an interference. The interference you got is a judge hero. Not only are you running away from these people that are coming at you, you also have to run away from the judge hero, Yang. Yang can shoot light from their hands, which is very bad since stealth is kind of needed here. Obviously, it's assumed it's nighttime. Yang's damage is soul damage, meaning it is almost unblockable and unhealable to the extent. Note, you cannot kill the All-Star. The All-Star is going to be more of an obstacle. With all of this in mind, you all need to be thinking of ways that you can complete this objective, ways that you can mess with your opponent, and ways you can stop them from messing with you. Something tells me this match is going to come down to how well the others can mess with the others. So, with all of that, it's time to show us what you're made of. Chrono, we're starting with you. Tell me, how do you plan on completing this objective? Any strategies?
Power dealer.
Yes. Fuck, I just remembered.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting this one a lot on Season 2. I haven't been forgetting it at all. One step I forgot. Chrono, explain your power. You cannot lie here.
Of course. My power is, how did you word it? Let's see.
let's give Chronos some time to look. Deep freeze. Explain your power.
Alright, so my power is that I can shoot I believe the wording specifically was laser, from my hands and my feet. And where this laser travels, it creates hail clouds. I can control the size and intensity of the hail. And if the beam hits somebody directly, it'll cause cold damage to build up. The drawback is that I can only use this power on people that I hate, and nothing else. The laser is very fast, and I think... I can use 75% of it. And the last part I don't think is doesn't matter too much, because it can be passed down genetically.
Yeah, the genetic part and the natural power you have unlocked doesn't matter, because genetics don't matter here, and we assume everyone has 70% of their power for the tournament.
Okay.
Don't forget, did you explain the hail cloud part?
I believe I did, that wherever the
Yes.
laser travels, it creates hail, and I can control the intensity and size of the hail.
Mm-hmm. Mover, can you explain your power?
My power is teleportation. But it does some damage.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Oh, it's teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
But like it'll do some damage to me as I use it.
You did just get your power, so I do understand why you do not all of it. If you wish, I can explain the rest.
Yeah. And also how much damage.
Not a lot, but also still not something to sneeze at over time. A good punch to the gut.
Okay.
Mover can teleport themselves and anything that they are friends with. Objects do not count. The teleportation is instant also. Using this power hurts them. That's pretty much there in a nutshell. Mount Man. And is it Mountain Man or Mount Man?
It's Mount Man.
Alright, I've been saying it
Like
right.
Mount Rushmore, but instead of Rushmore, it's Man.
Alright, Mount Man, what's your power?
Okay, my power. I can make things grow. Anyone who looks at me, any part of me, I can make them grow to a max height of like 30 feet. They become stronger the bigger they are, but they're also more vulnerable to attacks. They could last any time like 5 to 10 minutes max, or I can cancel it at any point. So for a stealth mission, this might not be a good power.
Krona?
Yes. So my power is called Rewind. It allows me to send, whoever I shoot a beam of energy at someone, and anyone hit by it will be mentally set back in time. And they will not know of anything past that certain point. The beams are about the average speed someone can throw. So probably like 70 miles per hour, 80, somewhere around there.
I think we decided around 30 to 40 miles per hour for speed when throw.
I was thinking like baseball.
It is as fast as an average man, not your baseball player.
Well, no, baseball players throw up to 100 to 90.
Yeah, not baseball players.
So, what, like 30?
Around. I don't know the exact speed, but I do know that your average man throwing the ball, throwing a ball is around somewhere that speed.
Like a game of catch.
Maybe
Works for
a
me.
little faster than Game of Catch, but yeah. And
Works for me.
Chrono's powered, because time powers are always confusing. A little explanation for this. Chrono's power, when he hits you, he will essentially erase your memory back like 5 minutes or so. And
Depending on how long you charge it.
Yep. The more energy he puts into it, the longer the erase. So if you were on the toilet 5 minutes ago and he hits you with it, now you're like, wait a minute, this isn't the bathroom.
So, I do have one question. If I just straight up throw it without charging it, how long is that?
Like a minute, 2 minute, maybe.
Perfect. That's all I need.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? Good to hear. All right, Golden, you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Chrono, we're starting with you. So tell me, how can you complete this objective?
How? Well, my idea would be to, anytime I see someone, I would possibly send them back like 3 minutes. But as long as I'm not seeing somebody, I'm constantly charging it up. And if I do see someone, I'll throw their mind pretty much, I'll erase their mind to where they're confused where they're at. And then they're going to have to search their surrounding and pretty much stand still for a second trying to get their bearings. And I would just hide amongst like the trees and whatnot.
All right.
Or, well, isn't there there's trees on mountains, right?
Not these mountains, just rock.
No. Well, then I would squeeze myself between rocks and then throw beams of mental time back at people so that they would most likely get caught if they just stand there because they're confused.
Okay. That sounds great. Golden, any questions?
No, not really. It's a very solid plan with the mentally sending back. So if he hits contestants, they'll have to wait a little bit, vulnerable to the party trying to find them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the All-Star, to deal with him, I would probably send him back in time and then run.
Keep in mind, 1, Yang is a long-range fighter. 2, All-Stars have much higher resistances. If any of you have seen My Hero Academia, think of you guys are superheroes, the All-Star is All Might.
Well, in my opinion, not y'all's, like, I'd say you can't really have a resistance to someone messing up your mind unless you got like a steel trap or something.
Nope, but All-Star resistance is a thing that we have given.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
All-Stars are resistant to almost every form of power coming at them, so they would be resistant to this, but it still works somewhat. All right, to keep things moving, Deep Freeze. How do you plan on completing this objective?
Alright, so the objective is just to hide. So my plan to start off is to try and just target myself with my ability, create a large hailstorm of small particles of hail to really help obscure vision, block any moon or starlight that might, and any ambient light, and then just kind of low crawl to a nice hiding spot, maybe under a rock or in a crag or something. The hail can also mess with my opponents, making the ground slippery, obscuring their vision too, so if they do try to move around normally, they can easily accidentally bump into one of the people looking for us. It should also help out with the long-range attacks of the former judge, because not only less visibility, but any shots shot at me have the chance to not only be stopped by hail, but because it's ice, it could also reflect the light. I'm not exactly sure how it would affect with their powers.
Not exactly reflect. Yang's light can move through objects, and it is light. However, I do like your strategy, because that does bring up a good point. You have no terrain advantage, so turn the terrain into your advantage. The clouds would block out any moonlight coming around, and if you affect a wide enough area, you are well enough hidden there, especially since people are like, great, there's hail raining down here, I don't want to step in here. It would be a deterrent, but also a beacon. Golden, if I want your thoughts.
That's very, very solid strategy. Basically turning your hail so small it's kind of like snow, and so you're like using like a snow sheet cover to hide from Yang, the person, or the all-star hunting you, along with all the little like henchmen.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, it's not snow, meaning it won't fall as snow. It is thin hail, and if it's intense enough, it is essentially a wall that you cannot see through. Even if Yang has light, What's he gonna do? Light up and see the wall? So, like that one. Mover. How do you plan on taking on this objective?
I was thinking I would hide in a dark, shadowy place, preferably
Okay.
under something if I could find like a ledge, and then just teleport away if anybody clearly saw me.
Short and simple. That first beginning part, I was like, well, you're not using your power. Everyone else can do that too. But the whole teleporting away thing, that does give you a nice little edge here, Golden.
Teleporting, I feel like, is a very nice power to have in a stealth match. It's just if you're stuck in a corner, just simply teleport away, and then you're safe.
My one question is, how will you deal with A-tier people? Because granted, yes, you'll be on the lookout for people and teleporting away. Eventually, you will get caught with teleporting everywhere. So I want to know, how do you deal with those A-tier people?
I'll just teleport up really, really high into the sky. And then right before I would hit the ground, I'll just teleport back up again.
I see. So just no clip.
Yeah.
All right. Golden, your thoughts?
I don't really have anything to say.
A solid strategy. I like it. Going straight up into the sky. Didn't really think about that, and especially like everyone else, how they don't need to have a certain point. It is great. Definitely one of the stronger teleportation powers I've given. Mountain Man?
Are we in?
Okay. The ability to grow really doesn't make this easy, considering I need to be stealthy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Something just got... Okay, that was fixed. What the heck? Okay, something got pulled up. My bad. You were saying?
So, let's see. I'm on a rocky mountain right now, right?
Yes.
Is it tall enough to have snowy peaks, or is it just all rock?
Rock.
Okay. Let's see. Well, if I were to attempt to avoid people, at first I would just try my darndest to keep out of sight, move through shadows, try and find a cliff with some ledges, preferably very, very far down the cliff ledges. Then I would hang from the ledge, make myself grow until my feet touch the bottom of the ledge that's below me, let go with my hands, and shrink down so I'm just standing on the ledge, like very, very far from where I was hanging before. That would be my temporary hiding spot until I hear voices, and I would attempt to grow back up, climb up, shrink, move to a different place.
Alright, Golden, thoughts?
I see this power having a lot of mobility, more than what you would think at first. You would think just like you're basically turning yourself into a giant, so you would think that you have slower mobility. But if you know how to use it just right, like Mountain Man is doing, or no, Mount Man, sorry, is doing, then I can see this being a very mobile power, and he's using it very, very well.
I do want to say, everyone can interrupt people. This isn't like a you talk, you talk, you talk. I mean, yeah, I am asking you guys when to talk. If you have something to say, you can cut in.
I actually do.
What you got?
I got, so after hearing people's strategies, we're allowed to think about a way to counter them, correct?
Yes, that is the next question I will be asking you all.
Oh, then I'll wait for that then.
All right. Mountain Man, I do have a question for you before moving on to that.
Yeah?
The growing and climbing thing, I like the strategy. Climbing on the cliffside and everything will make noise. You are a giant and you are making a bunch of rubble noise.
That is true.
Explain to me how you would combat this.
Well, how about in my giant form, I have very, very long legs because max I'm like 30 feet. So, in my giant form, sort of gripping the ledge with my hands, tiptoeing on the bottom cliff ledge face with my feetsies, do a very long stretch, and knock over some stuff very far away from me to provide a distraction, and then shrink down as quickly as I can, while they check some cliff face. I don't know how long are legs, like half your size, so like 15 feet away from me.
All right, all right. Using different sounds to get people off. I like it. All
Or
right.
actually, I could just throw something while I'm big. Just like throw a boulder as hard as I can.
And everyone will be like, "Look
the
at
sound
that!"
the sound of the boulder. Well, it's dark, right? So
Yes.
if I throw it high enough, they won't be able to see in the night sky. So the sound of me picking up and throwing the boulder will be overshadowed by the boulder crashing into some other rocks and creating this big, like, crashing rubble sound.
All right, I like it. Does anyone else have anything to add for this question?
For the A tier, the A
Mhm.
tier secrets and whatnot.
Yep.
I was thinking, since I kind of got this idea from Mount Man, to be honest, with the boulder, but this is like Pebble. If they spot me, erase their memory to when they didn't see me, and throw a rock on the opposite way to make sound away from me, so that they would go that way. They wouldn't know where I'm at.
Somewhat effective, not really. I mean, already it was kind of assumed that you just kind of run out of the way, and they'd be like, "Huh, what's that? I don't know. That's what's going on over there." So that was kind of already assumed you were doing that.
I mean, yeah, the mind wipe and run is still an idea, but if I'm like cornered, then I would try to like find a little crevice I could hide into and throw a rock and then like erase their mind midair so that it would make a sound.
All right, I can see that. Does anyone else have anything?
Since the subject of sound is being brought up too, I just wanted to say that, with the hailstorm going on, there's a lot of ambient noise being caused by the hail.
That is true.
So we can for all of us.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is an average cover for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except, if you guys aren't being too careful, the ice can definitely make trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Any other questions or statements?
Statement, yes. My ideal point would be vantage. I would try to get high.
Mm-hmm.
Not like high out of this world, but like,
Yeah.
higher up.
Nah, you had
Not
that
gonna
with
be
you when the
full-
match started.
I'm not gonna be pulling a Snoop Dogg up in here mid battle.
But that,
Yeah, that it.
You're gonna be saying it.
sorry, movie you were saying? I can't tell if you're talking, mover. Hello?
Yes.
Well, mover talked and I can't hear them talking.
Yeah, I can't hear him talking either.
I think maybe they just picked up something else.
Okay, well, to answer your thing, Chrono, the high vantage point thing, that is something that everyone can do.
Yeah, I know. But since my power goes in arcs, it would be best.
Alright.
Because I can throw a wider arc and have more accuracy with that.
Okay, I see that. Mover, you were saying? I heard the cough.
Great point.
Coughing. Coughing in one direction and they won't know you're in the other.
Sound. Got it.
Let's move on to the next one. This next question,
Sorry, she's very shy, so she has a difficult time talking with people.
I see.
Yeah, so
Well, just know that editing is a thing, and editing is called the second actor for a reason. It makes
Of
people
course,
it makes people look very good. If you've seen the videos that I have uploaded on the channel, where you can all see these guys, shameless self plugin. But yes, they have been edited, and they can speak for themselves. They see an improvement.
Okay.
So next question for all of you. Chrono, we're starting back with you. How do you plan
All right.
on messing with your opponents? This, me and Golden might determine saying this is going to determine the match.
Well, so we got the Glacier Man, got teleportation, and we got the Giganto person. I don't know anyone's name, so that's what I'm gonna go by for now.
I mean, they're
But-
all right there.
Yeah, I'm not looking at my phone. My phone's turned off. My bad. Let's see here. We got, is it Deep Freeze? That's the Glacier dude?
Yes.
Alright, just figured off a name, and then what? It's Mount and Mover,
Yes.
correct? Alrighty. So for Deep Freeze, I would try to avoid the hail area. Not really gonna mess with him because he could theoretically just sit in that. And
Hey, quick question. So I just got to Moonchild's place, and I was wondering if I could like have her tell me her strategy, and then I could tell it to you.
I will allow that, yes?
Yeah, or have her type it. So I don't know. She's
They,
way shyer than I thought she.
they can type it if they want.
Okay. Well, I'll see what she has to say, and if not, we'll just have to go with the first option.
Alright. So, Chrono, you were saying?
for Mover, if I see them teleport into the sky, I would most likely attempt to hit them with one of the time beams to make them forget that they even teleported, and then they just fall and splat.
I did tell you this whenever you were talking like that. Whenever you were explaining your power, I mean. Well, when I gave you the power. Instinct is still a thing. You can reset their mind back a couple of minutes and stuff. Instinct is still a thing. If you're falling, you're going to be, oh shoot, teleport.
Fair. But there would be still a slight delay.
Yes.
So I would be betting on that then.
Be betting on them to go splat.
No, the delay.
The delay of,
Like-
oh shoot, panic, they might see me.
Yes.
Ah,
Like
okay.
the delay of mental processing.
Okay. And keep in mind, everyone, contestants do have increased difficulty. For instance, if you have an exploding power, you can tank it and be like your standard protagonist and still keep going. Whereas normal people, if you hit them with an explosion, they just explode.
Fair enough. For Mount Man, it's similar idea, but like he said of how he was gonna like extend or grow to where he can grab like a tall branch and then pull himself up. Right as he grabs the branch, make him forget about like a couple seconds because it's not gonna take that long to grab it, and as he's just standing there holding onto a branch, he's gonna be like, "Oh crap!" and then pull himself up like a couple seconds later, in a slight delay, of course,
Mm-hmm. That is something.
because it'll take, of course, even panic mode. It still takes, even instincts actually. It still takes time to assess your situation, and so reaction time of an average person would not be, supernatural, of course.
All right, I see
And I'd pretty much just leave Deep Freeze alone. I'm gonna be real. I
that.
don't feel like going inside a hailstorm and getting pelted by rocks of ice and dying.
All right, do any of you have anything to say on that?
I have a counterpoint.
Which would be?
So, I am currently very big. That is the fact. I'm holding onto that branch. I forget I'm holding onto the branch. I remember, oh shit, I have to get up, and I get up. I'm a little later, and I realize that they're a lot closer than before. However, the eyeballs of a standard human are big enough so that they have a maximum horizon point. Like they have a set amount they can see far enough into, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that since my eyes are now currently bigger, I have a larger range of vision in like lengthwise, so I can see things farther away. At the
Yes.
very least. So in that point, even if I have a later reaction time, I would by instinct be pulling up earlier because I'm able to see things farther. Like because I hear the voices, I would pull up at the earliest possible moment in order to see how far they are, and I would be able to choose the moment I pull myself up so that they're still very far away, but I can still see them. So they wouldn't be able to see me, but I could be able to see them.
So if someone shoots a beam at you, you would be able to see it at a much farther distance and react accordingly.
Question.
Yes.
Yes.
Are my beams visible?
Yes.
How visible? Like, what's the opacity?
Beam of energy. Think of like what Harry Potter beams are made of.
Oh, do they emit light?
Yes. No, kind of. Eh.
Okay. Well, lucky me, mine go in an arc, and so I can just throw it, and then as it's still arcing, I can run away.
You can always shoot it and run. Mountain Man, for your thing, I would argue that since you are a bigger target, it is much harder to move accordingly. As you know, given how you can move, but you are a bigger target to hit, and since you are bigger, obviously more things to see. But
Just quick heads up. She's typing into the general chat.
I see
She
it.
Typed into
I see it. I was
Cool.
going to move there after Mountain Man.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
I forgot what you said. What? Like, how long would this challenge take?
Like actual, like how long we'd be talking here?
No, like in game.
Oh, like how long you're being searched for? Until everyone is found.
Okay. What? So it'd be like a maximum of like a day,
Say an hour or two.
an hour.
It won't
Perfect.
take that long to find you.
And how much of a charge can I charge up in about 10-15 minutes? I forgot what you said.
10-15 minutes. Try taking it as a maybe a 1 to maybe a slightly higher than 1 ratio. 10-15
So-
minutes of 10-15 minutes of charge will give you about maybe
20 to 18.
about maybe.
All right. So I would assume like the 10 charge would be like 18 to 16, somewhere around there.
Around, yeah, but keep in mind, since your power is not built for charging, it still will have its kinks here and there, and you might see as time goes on.
Well, what would happen if I did charge it up for about 5 minutes and then shoot it at one of the searchers? Like if I found them.
It would still work like that. And Mover, to answer your questions, pretty much yes. Found a guy, boom, you're out. That's how you will be found. And for going to Mover next, Deep Freeze will be skipping you. I could just distract people and then teleport away, or teleport behind them, slap them, and then teleport away. That does really work since your teleportation doesn't have a cooldown. You can't be floating in the air. There is still a slight cooldown. You can't like teleport to the same space every millisecond. But it's like boom, boom. That is still a good pace that you can go at. Teleporting behind them and slapping them, that is a slight problem because that will put you in harm's way, if anything, and you will be found. And what counts as being found? If you show yourself to that person, they will find you. So keeping out of sight is very important. Deep Freeze? How do you plan on messing with people?
So I think my power in general kind of already messes with anybody nearby me. Now, if while I am hiding, someone does get close, and only if I can tell that they're one of the other contestants, a surprise attack at close range, without them really knowing, If everyone could turn their attention to the dank channel, the quick up to the timestamp.
What about it?
Oh, basically just dropping giant pieces of hail on them,
Okay.
hitting them with my beam and dropping larger chunks of hail. Otherwise, for the most part, even if somebody comes nearby, staying hidden and out of the way and just letting my passive hail nearby keep affecting everybody around me.
So just throwing huge chunk o' hail at you. You can't exactly shoot hail. It's either hit with the laser beam or hit with the hail cloud.
Well, yes. Hit them with the laser beam, which causes the hail cloud. A super fast laser beam at close range sneak attack, it should be practically guaranteed to hit unless, they've got something to dodge or knew I was there. But again, this is only if I can determine 100% that they are one of the other contestants. Otherwise, it would be foolish to give myself away.
Obviously, it makes sense. Shooting, using the hail clouds to rain on them and have them just get chunked on. Very nice. Hitting them with the beam directly is also good because slow is not exactly something you want in stealth. And Mover, to answer your question, yes, you can teleport between a couple different hiding spots. Since they are A tier, eventually this will be picked up on, though. But it still is a very nice strategy. Deep freeze, is that all for the messing?
Yeah.
Alright, that's all pretty good. Mount Man, how do you plan on messing with your opponents?
I had ideas.
Yes.
So for deep freeze, I have a question about how his hailstorm shield wall thing works. Is it sort of like a spiral with an eye in the center, or is it a dome? How you're like protecting yourself with minuscule like things of hail.
So it's more just hail clouds form because of my laser beam. So I'm just making one giant hail cloud. My power doesn't specifically mention what shape the cloud takes.
I see. My plan was originally to like kind of spot you in it at the very least, get a higher vantage point on you, drop a rock on you so you look up, so then you see me, and then I make you as big as I can and just leave you like that for them to find you. That was more or less my strategy for everyone else too, at the very least. For Chrono, I'd use my big ol' eyes to spot where the arcs are coming from. I know he's able to move, but it is very rocky, mountainous terrain. I doubt that. Well, I mean, we are sort of enhanced individuals, so it would be pretty easy, I guess, to maneuver in that terrain. But only like moderately faster than an average person would. So at the very least, I could find out like the area where he is, and have him spot me and grow him, and then run away. Then for Mover, oh, that's tough actually, because she can teleport. If she's teleporting up into the air and she's falling down, she'd have to be essentially looking down, right? She can't just be like just sitting there staring at the sky as she's plummeting towards the ground. So as she's looking down, I get under her, make her big, so she hits the ground faster, makes more noise, and draws people to the giant person standing there.
That is a pretty good one. Not to mention, remember, your power has a spidey sense. When anyone looks at you, you instantly know someone's looking at you and can activate it on them.
Oh, so I don't have to know they're looking at me?
No, you don't. Your power tells you, hey, someone's looking at you. Where? Over there. Okay, boom.
Ooh, actually, in that case, if someone's looking at me, I have to be very careful, though, because I don't know who exactly is looking at me until I look back. So it could be an A-rank seeker looking at me first. But... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Mount Man, to counter your throwing rocks at me, and even your power activating on me, I don't think either of us will be able to see each other through the hail.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so deep freeze is kind of covered with there, and can you stay in the sky? Will you eventually be found? You will eventually be found. And and the bigger you are, you fall slower since there's more air resistance. Things fall at the same speed.
Ooh. I was sort of thinking like you grow bigger, so your legs hit the ground faster. You know, like if you're like 20 feet in the air and I make you grow 20 feet, you're just standing there now.
I see.
Things will fall at the same speed. It's called terminal velocity, but you still have air resistance to make into a factor of that. Like a flying squirrel, they can survive an impact, but like a human, they would still reach terminal velocity, but you also have to apply for weight and gravity. So I assume if you make them bigger, they're heavier, and they would fall at a faster rate.
But what Mountain Man did bring up was if you're 20 feet in the air and you are growing now to 20 feet, you're standing. You're not falling anymore, you're standing. And the growth does happen over the course of a couple of seconds, which is how high can I teleport? Kind of as high as you can see. There is a limit to the arena. You cannot leave the arena.
Yeah, you can't
I
just
do have
like
a question
escape the
about Man.
stratosphere. Oh yeah?
So is he allowed to make multiple things big at once, or is he only allowed
one at a time?
Okay.
Oh, I should have asked that.
Uh-huh. Little strat against him instantly knowing where I'm at when I look at him when I throw a beam. Once that beam hits him, he won't really know where I was, of course. And does he know that he has a power activated?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assume, okay, this is an assumption, of course, that he wouldn't technically know what he hit with the activation of the power, so he would like to probably retract that and keep it for himself to use it on something else.
That is something good. Now keep in mind, beams don't have a 100% hit rate. It's not, I fire and boom, it's hit. There are great chances to dodge, and whoever has the higher chance normally gets that first. In this case, hitting back on him would be extremely hard, because Mountain Man will get the first one with the Spidey Sense hit, and being able to find back, aim, and shoot him as you're growing is a very hard task to do.
Also, a little strategy for if he does try to shoot a beam at me, I would look at him as, of course I need to look to aim, and throw multiple beams at once of low intervals. And as those all hit, they would accumulate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So I would just throw, a couple simple beams, and they're all, minimum 1 to 2 minutes, right? And let's say I throw 3 at once. Boom, 6 minutes of his mind is gone, right? He has no idea what he's using his power on, no idea where I'm at, and no idea what hit him.
All right, that's a pretty good thing. Let's move on with Mover before we go on that. Mover, how do you plan on messing with people? I will wait for the typing. Or either Super to talk, or Mover to talk, any one of the three.
Nice.
Wow, wonderful weather we're having. It's a great night sky, ice is falling.
Just good old-fashioned Texas weather, in my opinion.
A bit nippy.
I could make a miniature hail rain by taking large rocks with me.
Oh.
Large rocks, maybe, yeah. It'd be hard to... It's kind of like what you're stuck with carrying in your hands, but yeah.
So you would need supplies.
Yes.
Ooh, that is a huge disadvantage.
Fist-sized rocks. Like, pretty much look around the various rubble, grab it, and then just rain it in the sky.
So,
fill your shirt with rocks.
Actually, speaking of that, now I have a strategy against deep freeze. Strategy is that
can we wait? Can we wait on that? Can we wait on that since Mover takes a little bit to talk? Have them wrapped up in a sweater or something. Okay, use something to grab a bunch. It's not out of the picture. How would this mess with people? Are you like teleporting to them and making a noise there, or and then you're throwing the rocks there, or like, are you just throwing a rock down in the sky, or how's it working? After this, Golden, I would like to head to your questions.
Wait a minute, I thought we were talking about Deep Freeze's power needing supplies.
No, this is Mover.
I was confused, my bad.
No, Mover would need supplies of rocks on ground and then teleport.
Yeah, I don't know anyone's voices yet, so that's my fault.
It's all good. Mover, if possible, can you have Super talk for you? It would be much faster.
Okay, so she's saying she could also like take a couple rocks with her and find contestants. Once she finds the contestants, she would throw the rocks at them as hard as she could, and then teleport away immediately as soon as she's done with that. So that would create like sort of beacon for the finders to have a general search and find area.
All right.
And that would create a bigger distraction than her teleporting to them, since her teleportation is instantaneous and... Wait, does it make sense? She wants to know if her teleportation makes sound.
It does not.
And then, so then her teleportation in itself wouldn't be a distraction. She would be able to like teleport back to her own hiding spots. And what else? And so she would essentially just teleport back to like a preset hiding spot, and from there she could repeat the strategy again. And what do you think?
All right, these sound like pretty solid strategies so far. Golden, I want to hear your thoughts on these counters.
I'm gonna be honest. I had like a lot of questions, and then like I for some reason forgot them all, and I'm just now trying to recollect them. I do remember a couple. One of them was for Mover. It seems that you're doing a lot of teleportation, and if I remember, your teleportation does hurt you. How are you gonna deal with this long run pain?
Ooh, that is a factor I did forget about. Super, if we could have you speak for her again. And while that is going on, Golden, any other questions you have?
Okay, so
Okay, keep thinking.
she said that once she teleports back to her hiding spot, she could take time to recover.
Stay there for as much as I possibly
All right.
I don't know if you like that.
Stay there for a good couple seconds. That does make sense. And this does also rule out the possibility of constantly staying in the sky.
As long as for her to recover from the effects of her teleportation. Which, how long is that?
It's damage. It's, again, like I said, a good punch in the gut. Doing this too many times will eventually, I mean, if you do it enough times, theoretically it can kill you. And
So what would be like maximum?
a maximum, that's a hard one to say.
Like if
All I
you said
know
you
is
can-
it's low.
And we're pretty. Did you say that we were like enhanced a little bit? Like not just like an average Joe, but like 10% more powerful than them?
Yep,
correct?
you guys do have some resistances though. Things that come from the power though, that's kind of a little bit of the exception. Using this power too much in a row will severely hurt this person to the point of like maybe coughing up blood. So
like internal damage.
yes.
Like basically teleporting, your insides are kind of getting jumbled around and your
Yep.
organs are hitting each other.
Mhm.
That's what you're saying. So yeah,
All right.
that would hurt. Shit.
But staying in one spot. Oh, super.
Sorry, she wants to know if like the effects disappear after a bit.
The effects
what-
do disappear after a bit, but that's just because of standard healing.
Okay, so what she really wants to know is how long does that take?
A couple of minutes maybe. 1 or 2 for like 1, but if you keep using it in succession, the timer will keep going on and on and on. You know, you can take a punch and then like sit down for like a minute and then you're back up. But if you take 5 punches in a row, you gotta stay back for a little bit.
Because of what she's saying is that she'll teleport twice in a row, and then one to teleport to where the contestants are or wherever she needs to be, and then one to teleport back to her hiding place. And from there, she can take the time to recover from those 2 punches, and then do it again after like a couple minutes or after she's recovered.
All right, this does make sense. Golden, did you have any other questions?
One question pertaining to 2 of the contestants, Chrono and Mountain Man. You guys are doing a very good job interfering with each other and dealing with the Seekers, which are a difficulty, so pretty difficult. But I wanted to know, for me it seems that you guys haven't said anything to deal with Yang, the All-Star Seeker.
Ah,
I just wanted to clarify on that.
We'll start off with
correctly.
Mountain Man.
Yang shoots light from their hands, fingertips,
Hands, yes, and feet.
from their hands. How far?
Think of a lighthouse.
Oh no, that's a lot.
perfect. Is it a beam that sheds light, or is it a cone?
It is, imagine a lighthouse light pointing directly at you. That's what it is.
Oh, that's bright.
Okay, so beam. Because a lighthouse is it's either because lighthouse is a cone, ain't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It spreads out.
it's a cone.
Okay. So with that in mind, I would use that to my advantage to sabotage another player as well. I would almost like if I'm seen, I'm caught, or do I have to actually be physically caught?
If you're seen, you're caught.
Okay. So what I would do would be use my power, right, to basically create some amount of light to where they can see it, to where Yang can see it, right, and have it where it originates from a player, and then dip, as the light will shine on the player.
That, if anything, I think that gives away your position. Of a beam just came. Where's it from? Over there. And if you say you shoot it
Yeah.
from where another player is, you're next to another player, which is
Like I would shoot it.
no
Pretty
network
much
of
at 'em.
caves. Go on.
I would pretty much shoot it at a player, to where it would hit them, as well as showing where the light like came from. I would shoot it pretty much perpendicular or parallel. One of the two. I don't. But to where if they shine the light, it'll also hit the other person, and then I would run off.
Okay, so shoot the beam from around where they are. Run.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Huh? What's that? Oh, there they are."
And then Yang would shoot like a light beam, and then be like, "Oh, there's a, let's say, Mountain Man."
Okay, so that does somewhat work, but that is also a very risky strategy to throw out there because it also means that yourself is in risk.
That would be a just in case type thing.
Okay. Deep freeze, I believe Golden had a question for you too with Yang.
No, not really. Deep Freeze is kind of like hiding in his own little corner.
Oh,
that
it was
he made.
Mount Man.
Yeah, Mount.
My bad. Mount Man, how are you dealing with Yang?
Oh. Let's see. I guess I think the way I would deal with it involves Chrono's strategy actually, because if they're throwing it in my general vicinity, does that also include them being in my general vicinity, or are they just throwing it so that the light leads to my position?
They would have to get to where you are, shoot from where you are, and then leave. Or at least around where you are.
I see. Okay, so in that case, a lighthouse beam is essentially a cone, right?
Yes.
It starts out thin and bright, and expands out dimmer farther it goes. So at its like max point, it's got a pretty big radius, but it's still relatively dim.
Yes.
Like that's how. So then, in that case, depending on how far Yang is from us, Corona wouldn't really have time to leave because he would be caught in the radius as soon as Yang shines his light on us. If the cone is big enough at where we are relative to him.
If Chrono is caught late enough in the cone, yes, because that is a wide area that will be hard for movement, and A tier people and an all-star will definitely pick up on that movement.
A little counter argument to that. If there's shrubbery around, the light does not pass through.
No, Yang's
Correct.
light, I did specify Yang's light goes through objects.
Oh dang. Okay, shadows are out.
Actually, you did not.
Ah,
You said it did soul damage, and that was at the end of it. You didn't say it passed through.
I didn't say it in the introduction. I said it whenever I was explaining when Yang shoots at deep freeze. Is my teleportation faster than Yang's light? Instant is kind of faster than light, so yeah.
Still got to count for the cone, so...
Yeah, if you can get out of the radius. But, Mount Man, how would you deal with Yang?
You said he did soul damage?
Yep, which means more damage and unhealable.
Oh my god, okay. Dang. Let's see now. So, it's a cone, larger radius, farther I am away. The soul damage passes through objects, so I can't hide behind anything.
Well, the hiding behind anything, it doesn't light you up. The light does pass through objects, you will be damaged.
Oh, I see. So it'll still hurt, but I won't be seen.
Not really. I mean, kinda-ish, because the light is still around you and stuff, but yeah, don't think hiding behind a lot of cover will help you from avoiding it.
Will not. It will not.
Would I be visible from there if I laid down? Teleport to the top of the mountain and laid down? I mean, you're visible pretty much anytime if someone walks up, but that is pretty much something anyone can do. Go to the top of the mountain and then lay down, mover. Sorry, Mountain Man, continue.
To avoid Yang, my power... If he looks at me, does he have to consciously shine his light on me first?
Yep.
Like he said, he's like, he holds his hand up first.
Yep, like, I think he's over there. Boom.
Okay, so in that case, I automatically know, like, spidey sense-wise, if someone's looking at me.
Yep.
Do I know from where they're looking at me, or do
Yep.
I only know that someone's looking at me?
You know where.
I know where.
Yep.
I see. In that case, I would use my detective level deduction skills to figure out, depending on where I know the sight is coming from, who that is. Like, for example, if the sight I feel is coming from where I hear a lot of seekers, I would relatively most likely assume it's either a seeker or Yang himself. Because is Yang sticking to the seekers, or is he doing his own thing?
Own thing, whatever. Roaming, seekers. Various things.
How good of a mountain climber?
All-stars have hugely enhanced physical abilities, and A-tier people also enhanced abilities.
Okay, shit. Okay, so
There are,
I guess-
to answer Mover's question, there are a good handful, maybe 10, 20.
So I guess the best thing I could do is I know when someone's looking at me, and I know where they are. Oh, wait, how exactly do I make them grow? Do I physically have to shoot something, or
Nope.
is it on like immediately?
You grow, and then they grow.
Oh, okay. So in that case,
So it's a sword.
A what?
it's a word. Do I
No,
have to
not
say I
no,
grow?
not a word. You just want that person to, and it works.
Oh, I use my thoughts.
I thought it applied to if he hated them.
Oh no, that was
That's
was
deep freeze.
So he
Wait,
can
does
only
that
shoot
mean
at
Freeze hates
someone if
himself?
they hate him.
No, only if I hate them.
Yeah.
So you can use it on yourself without hating yourself, but you can only use it on others when you hate them.
Hey, I can hate myself.
You sadly,
Oh,
you
yeah,
yourself,
okay.
you yourself are not possible for that target. But this whole time, I thought you were just making one really big clouds above seekers to cover an area.
I mean, no, it was never specified that I couldn't use the power on myself.
It's only on people that you hate. You are not one of those.
Well, I mean,
can't
you can have
hate myself.
depression.
I think that's a different kind of hate.
Self-loathing.
How about this? Like, I do have an idea about, or a question about the Seekers.
Yes.
Um, so the Seekers, they're A tier. They have, advanced physiology or whatnot, right?
Mhm.
Would it be possible? They all know each other in advance, right?
Yeah.
Or they're just like randomly selected people.
Randomly selected or knowing, depending. Mixture of both. Who knows?
Perfect. From just normal deduction of like looking at people and how they react, I would try to find a person who doesn't have the biggest relationship with any of them, like people are on the edge around them, and try to assume their disguise and like knock them out, if I could. I'm wondering if that would be like plausible, like, or am I too weak to even knock them out?
Not possible. Plus, no one here has offensive powers to do that.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
you would be spotted. Yes.
Okay.
I want to move on. Golden, you've got your questions out, correct?
Yes. There's just one thing I want to specify about Yang.
Which is?
Even though this probably won't pertain or put holes in anyone's plan, Yang is a master of martial arts.
Oh my
So
goodness.
he's both a ranged and melee fighter.
I knew that, but I didn't want to specify that because I'm like, no one's getting close. I don't need to specify this. Might have in hindsight, probably should have said it. But no one's plan did that, so I thought, let's not throw that useless information out there.
Well, just in case if someone thinks like, oh, what if I charge them?
Good point. That's why I was
Those
making an
extra
emphasis. I was making an emphasis, like, do not mess with the All-Star. You cannot beat them. But thanks for that. It's a good thing to always have in there. So you guys have already been throwing out things. I want to get a quick little brief synopsis from each of you before the final judgment passes. Chrono, you've heard people messing with you a bunch. How do you mess with them back or keep them from messing with you?
Keep them? Of course, the generic, if they spot me, wipe mine, run away. Right, but, to be honest, my goal, if I do spot a contestant, would be to stay behind them. And if I do spot, Mount Man, to not look directly at him, but, like, look at the ground around him. And in Deep Freeze, like I said, basically leaving him alone. He has a pretty solid defense and obscurity, and he can pretty much move around inside his fog cloud or hailstorm or whatever it is, and pretty much be unseen. So
sticking
but
with
the generic.
so sticking with them and shooting them with beams when they see you.
Pretty much.
All right. And if me reiterating gets annoying, it's also so I can kind of also say it for myself, so I'm making sure I know what you guys are saying.
I do the same thing, so you're good.
All right, Deep Freeze.
Yeah, just the strategy of making that large hail cloud with lots of small particles to obscure view, and then just stay low, find a good hiding spot. It's a good mix of offense and defense. Not really planning to like hunt anybody else down. Just kind of try and wait out the storm.
Okay. No plans for if anyone, how to keep anyone from messing with you. And I think the reason why you don't have one is because no one really messed with you.
pretty much.
Okay. Mover, how will you prevent people from messing with you? Something got caught in my throat. I'm dying. Okay, I'm better. Sorry about that. Mover, if you can or if you need to, have super talk or type. Run away. A lot. Pretty much. Oh, I'm Chrono shooting a beam. Run. Deep freezes cloud. Run.
Solid plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's instant, right? Yes. Just, and you're there. It's so funny. As I'm reading this, I'm like, yes, I see Mover typing, and then professional here Cobra's typing. Oh yeah, professional Hoget. What? Teleport anywhere within my vision? Yes.
So pretty much, deep freeze is like a direct counter to mover
Because?
because of the obscurity of
Yes, you can
his
teleport
ability.
anywhere you've already been. Yeah, because you can't teleport inside the sheet. You can only teleport on the outside.
Pretty much.
Because you can't see into it.
All right.
But if they walk into it, they would know of the location and could teleport out.
Teleport all the way across the mountain as long as you can see it. Mount Man.
Binoculars.
Mount Man, how would you keep people from messing with you?
So, Chrono is throwing those balls at me. Those balls of rewind time magic lasers. He has to at least see me for a split second to know where I am before throwing the ball. So I would just be on high alert with my spidey senses tingling 150% through my body to pinpoint the moment someone looks at me, like exactly where they are, and just make them grow as big as I can.
And that is still fairly good because they might see you without even knowing it.
Exactly. And for Yang, I don't think I actually ever said how I deal with Yang. So, for Yang, if he does spot me, I know my power won't affect him as much because he's an all-star, but I do hope that he would grow just a bit so that he'd be, how's the word, like,
Just saying, growing Yang, if anything, would make everything...
You're like,
Growing Yang, if anything, would make everything so much worse because now the light is now much bigger.
oh, I was thinking, like, since he's taller, the light would reach higher, and it wouldn't, and I'd be like under it and shrink back to my normal size and run away. But not.
There's a
good
strategy
idea.
called moving your hand downwards.
That is the true. I was banking on the idea that he'd have like a few seconds of, oh shit.
No,
Or you're
there'd be a
taller.
few seconds of what the heck, and also okay, boom.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah, maybe
Yang
I
were to
just
be
ignore
bigger,
it.
he'd have a larger field of view.
Yep.
Yeah. This is.
You're like, forget
Uh,
this strategy, get it out of here.
Yeah, that was just a prototype. Yeah, I was testing you guys actually. Yeah, they you
And
passed.
well, we all passed. All right. So does
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I actually had one more thing to say.
go for it.
To stop people from messing with me, I originally talked about how I would, in my enlarged state, throw boulders
Mhm.
through the night sky high enough they wouldn't be noticed to cause sound distractions far away from me.
Mhm.
If possible, close enough to the mountain, I would also throw a boulder at said mountain, specifically if I could find it anywhere where there's loose rubble, so I can cause a rock slide.
Okay.
Large AoE effect.
All right. This sounds all pretty good. Me and yes,
I do have one more idea, if you're willing to hear it.
go for it.
A cool little thing I thought I actually told you about it would be to charge up my ability and rewind in a contestant's mind far enough back to where I could pretty much lie to them and be like, oh yeah, it's a 2v2 competition, and try to make like a quote unquote friend.
That would require a large amount of time being thrown back, possibly much longer than you have time possible to charge.
Well, how long in advance do we know about this challenge?
Days. Even at the worst, even at the lesser case, best case, hours.
Well, that strategy. I wasn't counting on how long we would know.
I think all has been
Shit.
said, and I think every person thinks their strategy will get them the win, if I am correct. Meaning,
I'm
No.
pretty confident. Not like
I'm
100%, but you know, like
confident,
maybe like
but
60.
it's just about the only part of my strategy that wouldn't necessarily be the best would be against probably Mover, to be honest.
of trying to make them forget while they're falling and be like, oh, wait, what the heck?
Yeah, just basically slow down the reaction time to where they would get spotted quicker.
Mm-hmm,
But-
I got that.
And that would also give away my position a little bit.
It would, which we are also still keeping in mind. I don't think I'll be
Yeah.
the first person out, at least. Well, with all of that, either way, everyone has said their piece. If anyone has any other thing to throw up before that, me and Golden will head into the judge booth and discuss.
I would like to cause human feces around the contestants.
Sure.
Just gonna shit on us.
All right.
No, not shit on, but create a so you would get spotted a little quicker.
Okay, looks like everything has been said then. Golden, any questions?
No, everything is just being processed now.
All right. Golden,
I actually have a quick question. One more quick question.
go for it.
Do you accept bribes?
No.
Kick him in the balls.
I will give you a kiss.
How about sexual favors?
And we're in the judge booth. Thought your phone died.
No, like I was just like, he's not in the judge booth. What is he doing?
All right. So, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure you're probably on this one. Me too. For me, the winner is in between two people, but I think we can both guarantee that as sad as it is, I don't think Mount Man's winning.
Little bit. The two that I'm thinking of right now are Deep Freeze and Chrono.
I'm saying Deep Freeze and Mover.
So let's talk them one by one. Chrono.
It's just sad that Mountain Man just kind of thrown aside. It's just, his
Well,
power's
no,
a good
we're still
power.
gonna go one by one and get to him, but I'm starting alphabetically.
Well, yeah.
Chrono.
Yes.
Being able to wipe the minds of people is a really good tactic
Yes.
of just, I found him, no you didn't, and then run away.
This is a difficulty though. For what like normally would be like mind racing, like, whoa, what just happened? It'll probably be like just that feeling like just you walked into a room. What was I doing here? And then just move along your day. That's what I would feel like. And not to mention, he doesn't have any like movement abilities or anything. So most of his strategies were hit and run, or like I mess with this person and run away. It's a normal person just running.
Just your average guy. I would say there would be more of a disorienting effect when they're because your mind was set back a little bit. You're kind of on the edge of like, wait, what the heck, for a little bit, for at least a good couple seconds.
But there's always multiple people, and he has to shoot all of those people.
And that's assuming he
Where, like-
doesn't miss either.
Yeah. So if even just one isn't hit, they're gonna be, oh, I found you. Boom, just run through everyone else and get to them.
The worst part is, what if you're seen from an angle you're not looking at? Like someone spots you from behind, and they go, oh, I found you. You're like, what? Where's that? Oh, shoot.
And
And
bam.
you could probably hit, you could probably miss. But Chrono doesn't have a guarantee of getting everything. Still a good plan to last for a bit. His messing with the contestants, that didn't exactly succeed as good as he would think it does. When we're telling him, like, seeing them from there, that gives away your position too.
Yeah, a lot of things that he was doing, he was getting rid of his position, especially with Yang. How he just said like, "I'm gonna walk out in the open, in front of the contestant." For me, I was like, okay, that's like the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do.
But being
still
able
good strategy.
being able to reset the minds of the contestants doesn't affect them too much either. If
Yeah.
they mess with mover, it'll be like, huh? Oh, I'm in this spot or anything. If they're in the air, they're like, oh, I'm falling, gotta teleport back up.
It gives them like an extra 1 seconds.
It gives them an extra little floppy thing, and that's if he hits them and if the beam doesn't give away his position.
Yeah.
Um,
For me, I think for Chrono, it's just a matter of if he can like not give away his position a lot.
which is hard because he has a beam power.
Yeah, so he kind of has to move in front of danger and then shoot it.
Deep Freeze does have a good way of defending, though. Large area, granted, he can't make it centered on himself. He has to make it like, he has to make it a big area around the Seekers and stuff. That's still pretty good area.
Yeah, and not to mention, he can just create walls out of nowhere. If anything, he's just going to be inconvenienced by well, not inconvenienced, it's going to hurt a lot, but of Yang's light that just hurts him.
What do you mean walls?
Because you said that if he makes hail thick enough, he's just basically creating a wall.
Yeah, not a solid wall, like a wall that you can't see through.
Yeah, like a wall.
Yeah.
Like, it's like an ice wall you can't see it through, so like, they can like break it down, like poof, just punch through it, but like, it's still a wall.
No, not like a solid wall. Like, pretty much it's falling so thinly, when you look in there, all you see is gray and particles moving.
Oh.
That kind of wall.
Oh. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like he just like put himself inside a box. Just kind of hid there.
But even at that hail would damage other people around him. He could burrow into like a safe place in that hail. It's much harder to find. Yang can light it up, but then there's still the thing of you have to find them in that area. Granted,
It's
there is still a bit of a problem of he's in there.
This is actually not like irony, but like pretty funny to see how this is basically the fight of Yang versus Yin, the other hero that has to do a lot with smoke.
Yang
Just
could
like basically, yeah.
Yang could pierce the light of the other hero.
You mean Yin?
Yin could create shadow. Yang could create light.
Yes.
And Yang could
And
pierce
so-
the shadow.
But this is snow, something that's not the opposite of light.
Obviously, in a one-on-one
like,
match, Yang takes the win because, well, obviously you're just hiding and all that stuff. But finding him is much harder. He could like hide under like a little overhang of a rock, be safe from the snow, probably even have the snow like seal himself off. And for people to go around looking like, where is he? There's too much snow. Oh, let me try that. Oh, the hail. It hurts. It burns. He could increase the things.
He has very good hiding potential.
He
And
does
not
have to
mention,
keep. The clouds don't last forever. Keep that in mind.
Yes. And so, like, let's say that they do run out, he can even use that time, oh, hey, I'm going to mess with this guy. I'm going to summon, like, an ice cloud right here. And then so, boom. And so now, like, let's say around Chrono, boom. Like, he said he was doing that, right?
And remember, people do have resistances to their own powers, so that's pretty good for him.
Yes.
Mover.
The guy's got a good power. Just, it's in the completely wrong game mode.
Mover is the teleporter.
Oh, wrong one. Okay.
I'm like, you're talking about Mountain Man here. But Mover is definitely something good here because obviously, oh, someone's coming. Teleport away.
For what I know, it's just kind of like a person that's like coming in every so now and then, dropping rocks, trying to hit person, then back away on like the tippy top of the mountain. It's very hard to see it. Like, the only person who can possibly reach those lengths is Yang.
The one thing I'm worried about is that self-harm thing. Using this ability too many times is very bad, and their plan involves a lot of rapid teleportation. Teleporting in the sky, falling, then teleporting back up, teleporting back to your place, staying there and recovering for a bit, yeah?
I was counting like the amount of times that they were teleporting. So let's say like, it's the start of the match. One, they teleport. If the most effective way to do this is that so they use the least amount of teleports is go quickly dash, grab some rocks, teleport into a good hiding place because that's what you want to do first. So that's gonna be your first teleport, and then and after like they've rested because that's what they said. Like they teleport and then they rest. So after they're done rested, they're kind of reset back to 0, and then they go teleport in front of a person, or not in front of, like above a person, drop rocks, teleport back.
Keep in mind,
And
this harm is additive.
Yes, meaning it's like continuous, like stacks on more and more.
No, like
right? No,
it's not. It's not so much of a like I said. It's physical harm and all that stuff. You can't just rest off continuous physical harm.
They can try their best to.
Yeah, you can. For the first few, the first early ones, you can definitely rest off. But as it gets later and later and later, you can't rest off one teleport even.
But there is one thing that she has going for them.
Which is?
She's not getting hurt by Yang's light, really.
No, which is something good.
She's in the completely other direction. For her, it's just a battle of stamina.
Mm-hmm. And Mountain Man, or Mount Man.
He's in like the complete, as I said before, really good power. Like he's basically Juggernaut 2. Only thing is that he's in the completely wrong game mode.
I think he had a pretty good job of hiding over a cliff face and throwing rocks everywhere. And when he messes with someone, he can mess with them. They're giant and they're like, oh god, how do I hide?
Wasn't he like on a tree, like on a branch? What?
No, he's hiding on the cliff face.
You see, I was planning on asking Mountain Man to like recap on what he was doing because like for
his plan was go to the cliff face, get big on the cliff face, move as much as he can. Since he's big, he can travel faster, and then shrink back to normal. And maybe while he's big, throw a rock over in the big area. That would make sound initially, but then it would also make him really hard to see. And if anyone sees him, they're big and they cannot be seen. I mean, they're big and they will be seen.
That's what I thought because like he said that first. Okay, that's a really good strategy. Then someone bring in branches, so I thought he was like in the middle of the field on a tree.
No. He's got a pretty good hiding spot. I'll give him that. That is a pretty good strategy. The initial noise, however, I think will cost him here.
Yeah. I feel like he'd be very good, last a while like not Cobra, what's his name?
He'd last a good
last
while.
a lot like Chrono, but will eventually get caught before everyone's found.
So really, it's down to Deep Freeze and Mover. I want to give my edge to Deep Freeze.
I want to give mine to Mover.
Mainly because of this. If Mover gets hit with Mountain Man, or with Mount Man, they're screwed. But Deep Freeze can't be hit at all. Mount Man's interference is massive, because if you're hit, you're done. Deep Freeze is able to stay in one spot and be virtually untouchable. No one could mess with the guy. Everyone's being messed with in some way, but Deep Freeze just wasn't touched.
It's a battle of stamina for both people, because yes, like she's going to try and like mess with people and all that.
Yang's hitting one and one's hurting themselves.
So I feel like the question comes down to what hurts more, the self-harm or the Yang?
Yang would hurt more. The problem is, if he's hurt more, this is assuming Yang is continuously blasting this area, which might happen for a good bit, then Yang leaves. The problem is, each time Mover teleports, every one of their stats gets lowered. Because you're in pain. Eventually, like the first teleport, oh, okay, I'm good. Second teleport, oh, okay, I'm good. Third teleport, oh, okay, I'm kind of good. Fourth teleport, okay. Fifth teleport, and even if you rest in between those things, it's additive. Like the first teleport does pretty much like 5 damage to you. Then the next one does 7. Then the next one does 20. Then the next one does 30. It gets bigger because you're not healing the damage. You're resting it off and giving yourself the energy back. Sure, the damage is still there. their
But
reactions
there's
would be
also
lower.
the
And
thing.
go on.
There's the thing too that Deep Freeze also has to worry about the A tier difficulty seekers. Like, what's stopping them from kind of like rushing the hailstorm?
Yeah, that was something that I thought too. Rushing the hailstorm. And
Because like obviously if there's something there, they're gonna be like, oh, either someone's in there or he's trying to give away his opponent. Just rush in there and find out.
that would be good. The reduced sight would help him for a bit, and he would be stuck in one spot.
He will have if they rush the hailstorm, he'll eventually have to run away out of the hailstorm and just be defenseless for a little bit.
But remember, he can increase the damage of the hail, make it hit harder,
Yeah.
stronger. And A tier, granted, they can tank that. That's pretty good. It's going to come down to a fight of what'll happen first. Will Mover be hit by Mount Man, their teleportation damage eventually add up for them and get caught? Or will Deep Freeze be rushed and found? Because Deep Freeze doesn't really need to worry about Yang because he's damaged. Sure, he's going to kind of stay in the same spot. He's not really moving.
I feel like Mover can just overall dodge Mountain Man in general, because he's kind of off to the side, and all contestants come into the battle knowing full-heartedly what everyone can do. So it's like, okay,
Here,
this guy makes me big. That's gonna fuck up my plan.
the problem is,
I'm just not gonna
what if
look
he's
at
in
him.
your field of view and you don't know?
Well, he's off to the cliff. I don't think he is.
Well, no, obviously not during that part, but during other parts, he did say that's how he messes with people. So obviously he's going to be shown at some point. And if that is how he's messing with people, he just has to be in the field of view if he's small.
That for me, I would say that like it would give them away for a second, because if you notice how much he's using his power, it's like, oh, I make Yang big. Oh, I make any of the contestants who's looking at me big. Oh, I make the Seekers big. And he can only have one thing big at a time, so they're gonna grow very big, or they might not even hit the maximum. They'll like grow, like instead of 30 feet, like they can grow like 15 feet instead, which is still pretty big, but not as much as the maximum. And then it would switch to a different person, and then they start to shrink down.
I don't think switching that often would be part of Mountain Man's thing. I'm pretty sure when Mountain Man hits you, you're going to grow full size and you're going to stay there for a bit. A good amount. And remember, he gave up on the whole increasing Yang thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So, with that, I feel like
there's...
Freeze does have an edge on that.
Because of that, I feel like it's just too much stuff that Mover has to worry about. Their additive damage. Granted, yes, they can teleport a lot. This teleport is gonna hurt them a good amount.
I feel like
watch out for Mount Man.
What is it?
And the interference from Chrono too. Not gonna even that.
I feel like if Mover didn't have the damage on her, she would win.
Oh, for sure.
But it's because of the damage. I feel like I'll have to give my vote to Deep Freeze.
If they didn't have the damage, even though they would hit with Mount Man or something like that, they could teleport out of the way real quick, stay that teleport all over the place. You can't see him. It's hard to get him. And too hard, but Deep Freeze just covers too big of an area. They could search it, but Deep Freeze can increase the amount of hail thrown down, potentially piling and burying himself alive almost. But too much stuff goes wrong for Mover because Mover is out in the open, and Deep Freeze just wasn't messed with at all by any of the other three. If Mover did not have that damage, it would be almost easy for them. Someone's coming, teleport away. Someone's coming, teleport away. Someone's coming, teleport away. Simple as that. But that damage is going to add up. And eventually they'll make a mistake, have Mount Man see them, get too hurt when Chrono hit them, not have complete sense of your bearings and get spotted. I think we got our winner. Do we?
Not Mount. I was about to say Mountain Man. Deep Freeze.
I would say so.
Have a disadvantage on the attack as you're straining your body.
Okay. We have reached a
Go ahead.
decision. So,
Damn, no Star nerds.
we've reached a decision.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of this match was determined mainly due to how effective their strategy was. So effective that everything else almost became irrelevant. And because of that, this person took the win, I would say, in stealth. Golden?
The winner of today's proxy round is Deep Freeze.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's a really good power, especially
Yeah,
for one
look-
where you have.
That clap was your hands, right?
That's for you to decide.
Pretty much what it came down to was, if we were to order them, Deep Freeze would be at the top with Mover in second, because Deep Freeze could not be messed with. Sure, A tier people could rush the storm and find them. Increasing the density of the storm and the damage of the storm would really deter people from searching in there too long. Deep Freeze could essentially find a little rock to hide in and almost kind of barricade himself off, making it very hard to find him, and almost essentially bury himself alive. Yang will be lighting that place up, and he will be taking damage, but he's kind of in the same spot. Doesn't really need to move a lot. Mover, that damage is gonna add up real bad, and it's not hit, rest, okay, I'm good, hit, rest, okay, I'm good, hit, good, rest, I'm good. That damage is going to add up. In terms of numbers, it'd be like you take 5 damage, then the next teleport you take 10, then the next teleport you take 20 damage, then the next... You can rest up for sure. Like, if someone punches you in the face, you can rest up. But if you get punched multiple times, you can rest up, you are still very damaged. And that damage is really what cost Mover that the victory right there. Around next would have to be Chrono and Mountman. Those two, it would be really hard, but Chrono would have to land every shot in order to not get hit. And there is missing. Missing is a very good chance of happening. Or being seen from the back. Or seeing the origin of the beam. Or being seen far enough away. Mountman was a great interference. If Mountman were not here, it would be so much harder for everyone. It would be so much easier for everyone to go around. But because Mountman can go, oh, hey, you're big now, that's such a big difficulty to get over. And so because of that, Deep Freeze, do you remember your hero? Not your hero, your contestant that you were for?
Absolutely. Echo!
Because of this, 2 points are awarded to Echo. I congratulate every proxy still for showing up. I was contemplating having a second place prize, but then that would mess up the whole point systems and all that, so sorry about that. My bad.
Oh, good. It was at least fun for me to try to figure out how growth power works with stealth. I mean, come on, like I could not have been in a worse scenario.
Yeah, that was brought up of just he's in the wrong game mode here.
I have a question. How long does it take for him to change the hail from small to big?
He thinks, hey, I want it big now.
Oh, okay. So it's like my power of illusion where I think, hey, I want this, and it just appears?
Yep. Granted, bigger ones take a longer time to fall, but you still get the gist.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations on Deep Freeze for awarding Echo 2 points. Chrono, you did a great job. Mover, great job for being in for barely being thrown in there. Mountman, great job for the out of power situations. Back to Chrono again for just really coming out there with the various strategies and all that, almost as if he had experience essentially.
Dang, it's not like I play D&D every day.
I mean, Jesus Christ, but at the same time,
Had good advantage,
but
not power wise, like just strategic wise, had
Crazy
advantage.
ideas.